The wandering vessel. I was in a head-on collision 13 years ago. When I woke up, I had what I call a traveler. I've become a vessel for restless spirits, people that had their lives cut short by someone else. I help them find closure. I follow their lead, a soft, still voice that's felt more than heard. I've taken on a kind of nomadic lifestyle. I feel that the work I do, the work that we do, is more important than anything else. I've driven across this country so many times just waiting for one of my travelers to hail me. An Uber for the dead. Once they've found me, we go to work. No journey is the same. There have been a few times where I almost lost my life, but it's worth it. Last week I was driving through the desert, and a spirit by the name of George settled into me. He was a strong spirit, the strongest I had ever felt. He directed me to drive to Virginia. From what I could tell, he was involved in a crash, and the person who found him and nursed him back to health was also responsible for his horrific death 2 months later. George was kept bedridden and tortured for 2 months by a monster with the name of Lawrence Covey. I drove into Richmond, and I found Covey's house, but it was not yet the time to confront him. I found a hotel close to his house. George was an odd spirit, cagey. His mutterings were vague one minute and overpowering the next. Travelers give me images or names of the killer, direct me to their remains, so I can contact the authorities. George did not. George had no interest in taking me to where his body was buried. Instead, I could feel him looking into my mind, scouring it for information. He directed me to drive down the business district. He was looking for something that he saw in my mind. We passed by a Best Buy and he directed me to go inside. I bought several items under his suggestion, and when I got back to the hotel, he guided me along. I grabbed the toolkit from my trunk and took everything into my room. I let him move my hands. I butchered 2 laptops and a couple of phones, added some wires, and cobbled together some sort of electronic monstrosity. I had no idea what it was, but I could feel that George was pleased. Once I plugged in the makeshift thing, he let me know that it was time to confront his killer. I should have known something was wrong. It was a short walk to Mr. Covey's home, an old home surrounded by the most glorious roses I had ever seen. When the frail old man opened the door, I followed George's lead and let him suggest the words. "Lawrence Covey, can I help you?" George sent me. "Who?" "The man you nursed back to health after the crash. The man you tortured for 2 months. The man you killed 58 years ago. You're about to go to jail, old man." Realization crossed his face. Fear. He slammed the door. I asked George what he wanted to do next, but there was no response. I couldn't feel him anymore. It felt like he left. It had never happened this way before. I was tired and confused. I decided to go back to the hotel and get some sleep. The thing that we had built made comforting noises. Little clicks and pops over a constant hum. It lulled me to sleep. Later that night, several men broke in while I was asleep and held me at gunpoint. Men from the FBI. Covey came in behind them. He looked at me and then over to the machine. His eyes went wide and he hurried over to it. He asked one of the agents for their gun and he emptied the gun into the thing. The hum was gone. The machine was destroyed. He looked back at me and started to laugh. "So are you, some kind of half-assed psychic? I help spirits find peace." He laughed again. I was frightened and confused. I had no idea what was going on. "You say the spirit George guided you, eh?" "That's right. He asked you to build this thing here." "Yes. Apparently its psychic abilities extend into death." "You're a dumb son of a bitch, whoever you are. Congratulations. You're going to be responsible for the destruction of our planet. You've just helped that awful thing build what I have to presume is a homing beacon or a distress call. If his people picked up that signal, the human race is over." As the moonlight fades and the whispers grow silent, I thank you for joining me on this eerie journey. If this tale sent shivers down your spine, consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What mysteries keep you awake at night? Don't forget to explore my other videos, where more chilling stories await. Stay tuned, for the darkness has many more secrets to reveal. Until next time, stay curious and stay spooky.